While Russia, Iran, and Israel are dominating the headlines, author Joel Rosenberg's latest thriller is about the threat from China. The Beijing Betrayal is out today. Wendy Griffiths spoke with Rosenberg about the danger posed by China and why he believes World War III is a real possibility.
The Beijing Betrayal is the last in a series of Joel Rosenberg's fictional spy thrillers featuring Marcus Ryker that began in 2018. In this latest page-turner, China is the enemy, with Taiwan fighting for its survival, and the U.S. facing another plague.
And is Communist China simultaneously going to unleash a new biological toxin into the United States that could kill millions and millions of Americans and hamper or complicate or thwart the United States' ability to defend Taiwan and our alliance in the Pacific? That's fiction at the moment, but I think these are real, live, real-world threats that China poses. And look, President Trump is really tough on China. He's good on China, but I don't think he's doing enough to strengthen our alliance with Taiwan or give them enough weapons to make sure Beijing wouldn't try to invade.
Do you believe a Chinese invasion of Taiwan could literally trigger World War III?
I do. And the reason is because, like, most Americans don't really think about Taiwan. It's a small island in the South China Sea. It's not a country that most people can find on a map. However, Taiwan produces 97% of the most high-tech microchips that all of our computers and phones and AI equipment and so forth uses, as well as all kinds of other high-tech products. But if Communist China actually attacked it, and if they actually grabbed it like they want to do in the Beijing Betrayal, it's not just the loss of one country. Every ally the United States has in the Pacific would feel suddenly like the United States doesn't know how to defend them. South Korea, Japan, Singapore, Australia, the Philippines, and so forth.
Well, in your novel, you have China secretly working with a radical Islamist terrorist group to bring about something far worse than 9/11. How likely is that scenario?
Well, it's certainly what Communist China wants, right? Like again, I go back to the Wuhan laboratory in that city called Wuhan in China, in which they were developing one of the worst viruses that modern mankind has experienced, what became COVID-19. But moreover, Wendy, global governments, but the American government shut down churches, forbade Christians from going to church on Sundays or Wednesday night. If you had a casino in America, you could stay open, a strip club, a bar, a liquor store. No problem. Keep those open. But churches were shut down. This is part of Communist China's tyrannical biological weapon to neutralize the United States and our allies.
Let's switch gears real quick. What do you think about President Trump's plans for a new and beautiful Gaza?
It's a fascinating vision. Everybody's been criticizing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for not having a plan for a day after this war. But Netanyahu has had his hands full with getting this war won. The fact that President Trump has stepped forward, not a single Arab state has proposed an actual solution, an actual way to fix Gaza, pacify it, denazify it, de-Hamasify it, and rebuild it. Not a single Arab country has done that. As you and I speak, Trump said, I'll do it.
Do you think we're living in the end times, Joel?
There's no question about it. The fact that Israel exists right now and has for almost 8 decades, it's itself the fulfillment or the beginnings of the fulfillment of ancient end times Bible prophecy. This is Ezekiel 36. This is Ezekiel 37, as well as Isaiah, Jeremiah, the minor prophets. All said that Israel would be rebuilt and would be a sovereign nation state in the end of days before the Messiah, Jesus, comes back. Jews are returning to Israel. That's what my family and I did, and we've been citizens in Israel for more than 10 years. 2 of my sons have served in the Israeli military, and we are all in as Israeli citizens and strengthening the church through the Joshua Fund in Israel and the Palestinian areas and in the region. So, yeah, we're absolutely there. Now, what happens next? That's really interesting. And I'll just say, in Zephaniah chapter 2, the prophet actually tells us that before the tribulation, all people in Gaza are going to be removed. Right behind you. Gaza will be abandoned, the text says, and then God will give the land back to the people of Judah. Well, that's the nation we call today Israel.
Joel, what do you hope people will take away from your new book, The Beijing Betrayal?
Well, first, I just want them to have a rip-roaring, exciting, entertaining ride, right? And so where they're up all night, and these chapters, they're short, they're intense, cliffhanger endings. They're like Pringles. You can't eat just one. But I also want to educate. I want to warn. Communist China is a major threat, not only to the United States and our allies in the Pacific, but China's building a very dangerous strategic alliance with the Iranian regime.
And that makes China's communist regime a serious threat to Israel and the Jewish people. Rosenberg hopes the Trump administration, Congress, and Israel will make it a priority to counter the range of threats from Beijing before it's too late. Wendy Griffith, CBN News.
Well, we're definitely living in interesting times. Joel's book is called The Beijing Betrayal. It's available in bookstores, wherever books are sold, and it's ripped from today's headlines. I encourage you to get the read.
Are miracles real?
Let's investigate.
A lot of skeptics will say, well, miracles are impossible. Why? Because they violate the laws of nature. You can't violate the laws of nature.
I looked at my hand that was clutched. I said, hand move.
We got the 2125.
Hallelujah! He's dead. It's over. I said, shock him one more time.